these are the reporting requirements. For a company which is headquartered in India, the CBCR needs to be filed in India. For a company which is headquartered outside India and here there is just a subsidiary, all the subsidiary needs to do is intimate the tax authorities about the fact that its parent is outside India and mention the country where it is headquartered, and also let the tax authorities know that the CBCR has been filed in that country. In case India does not have an automatic exchange of information agreement with a particular country, or if that country where the CBCR has been filed refuses to share it with India, then India has the right to demand the CBC from the entity that is present in India. And the due date for filing this is along with the, or before the filing of the income tax return, similar to the Form 3 CEB. Again, the format of the report, largely similar to what has been given in BEPS Action Item 13. India, to the OECD, had proposed a few additional columns like royalty flows, interest flows, management fee flows. We need to see once the rules come out, whether India wants those in the CBCR template. But as of now, it looks like it will be largely based on the Action Item 13. But it does include something called any other information that may be prescribed. So we need to wait for the rules to see. So these are the penalties. It's pretty stringent. For a month, it's about 5,000 rupees per day. Beyond a month, it is 15,000. Then after a penalty order is issued, it is 50,000 per day. These are all per day numbers. So the penalties are significant. I mean, if somebody defaults, then they stand to lose a lot of money, which is absolutely as per Act, and there is nothing you can do to reduce this penalty unless you give a very valid reason and the officer accepts it. Again, inaccurate information to be filed, there's a different penalty for that. Failure to furnish the information is again 5 lakh. So this is the CBCR. Also, the master file has been introduced in India, so all entities who have transfer pricing requirements would need to prepare a master file. If the entity is headquartered outside India, the master file would obviously be prepared by the parent outside India, but it needs to be shared because the master file does not fall under the automatic exchange of information. So that needs to be shared with the Indian Revenue Authorities upon demand. There is no clarity as of now as to whether the threshold of 750 million also applies to master files. But in all likelihood, if we follow the OECD, it does not, because the 750 million turnover threshold only applies to the country-by-country report. But we still need to wait for the rules to see how the master file needs to be prepared, when it's needed to be submitted. But the penalties are more or less the same as the CBCR. So that's the major change. I mean, the documentation compliance requirement of all companies who have international transactions have increased with this budget and with the introduction of the CBCR and the master file. Two small changes relating to assessment and penalty, which I think Prasad already covered. So the time limit has been reduced from 6 months to from 36 months to 33 months in case TP is applicable for any assessment. And also there's been a penalty of 200% of the amount of tax in case there is an under-reporting or failure to report international transaction, deemed international transactions, or specified domestic transactions. So overall, the changes were in line with expectations. Anybody who has attended Deloitte's pre-tax, pre-budget webcast would know that these are some of the things we did discuss in that webcast. These are changes which will increase transparency. These are changes which will help the Indian tax authorities to have a global outlook towards every company. And now with risk-based assessment coming into transfer pricing, we are no longer looking at a routine 15 crore kind of a limit beyond which all companies were mandatorily audited. So it's a risk-based thing. So the master file, the CBC, would definitely help the transfer pricing officers to do a better risk-based assessment of Indian taxpayers. And overall, I think these changes, we need to still wait for the rules, but overall these changes are in line with what most of the countries, including countries like UK, Australia, Spain, they've done. So overall, this is significant, but then in line with global changes. Thank you so much.